In the last session, we have seen the analysis of voltage amplifier with feedback. In this session, we will see the analysis of transconductance amplifier with feedback. It is also called as a series amplifier. In transconductance amplifier, the output quantity is current while input quantity is a voltage. So the unit of transconductance amplifier gain will be that of the conductance. So it is either in mhos or Siemens. Now this is called series amplifier because on the output side the current has to be sensed. We know that to sense current, the input side of the feedback network should be placed in series with the output side of a feed-forward amplifier. On the input side, we have to subtract voltage, and we know that to subtract voltage, the feedback signal should be, or a feedback voltage should be placed in series with the input signal. That's why it is called as a series amplifier. First, we are going to consider a case where the feedback network is ideal. So we will consider here ideal case. Ideal case means the feedback network doesn't load the input side as well as output side of the feed-forward amplifier. So first we will see the model of the feed-forward amplifier. So in feed-forward amplifier, input quantity is a voltage in this case because it is a transconductance amplifier. Input impedance is Ri. The voltage across Ri is Vi. Output side is a current, so it should be represented in terms of its Norton's equivalent. Norton's equivalent consists of the current source in parallel with the resistance. So the voltage controlled current source is Am into Vi. Output impedance is Ro. So output quantity in this case is a current. So this current is I out. Now in ideal case, the output terminals of the feed-forward amplifier should be short circuited. So this current will be equal to I out. Input side, we apply the voltage source. So this is plus minus Vs. We can see that Vi is equal to Vs. Vi is equal to Vs and I out equal to Am into Vi. The reason is a short circuit is placed across Ro, so no current will flow through Ro. So it is equal to Am into Vi, which is equal to Am into Vs. So I out divided by Vs is equal to Am. So this is called as the open loop gain. So we write this quantity as Am open equal to Am. So this is, and the unit of the gain will be ampere per volt, or it is written in mho, or it is written in terms of Siemens. So any one of the unit can be used. Now we know that the output of a feed-forward amplifier is a current. So definitely the input to feedback amplifier or a feedback network will be current, and output of a feedback network will be voltage. So the feedback factor will be having a unit of voltage by current, or it is that of the resistance. So we will consider now the feedback network. In feedback network, the input quantity is a current. We are considering here a case where the feedback network is ideal. So if input quantity is a current to the feedback network, its ideal input impedance should be 0. So this current, we call it as I out, and the output quantity is a voltage. So this is plus minus beta into I out. This voltage is the output voltage, and you know that if the output quantity is a voltage, ideal value of output impedance should be equal to 0. So this is ideal feedback network. Now this network has to be combined, or it should be used as a feedback network for a transconductance amplifier. We will get circuit something like this. So we have the feed forward amplifier. This is plus minus Vi. This is Ri. Voltage controlled current source Am into Vi in parallel with resistance Ro. Now the feedback network input side should be connected in series with the feed forward amplifier output. The reason is the output quantity is a current generally, so output side is generally short circuited. So we are considering a case where there is no load. So this current will be equal to I out. The output side of the feedback network is a voltage source whose value is beta into I out. Output quantity is a voltage. So in order to subtract it from the signal, it should be placed in series with the feed forward amplifier input. So this is plus minus Vs. So we get a circuit. So you should understand that this is the feedback network, which is ideal. So this is ideal feedback network. So to this feedback network, input quantity is a current, output quantity is a voltage. So feedback factor will be, so this is plus minus Vf. So Vf by I out will be equal to beta. Vf by I out will be equal to beta, and the unit of beta will be, in this case, will be that of the resistance. Feed forward amplifier is this network. So this is the feed forward amplifier. So unit of its gain will be current upon voltage. Now in order to find out, so we know that AM open is equal to AM. That is the open loop gain of feed forward amplifier. Now with feedback, we will see what will be its closed loop gain. So we are going to calculate its closed loop gain, its closed loop input impedance, and the closed loop output impedance. So first we will see the closed loop gain of a transconductance amplifier with feedback. So we show this by AM closed. AM closed. Now from the figure, it is clear that Vi is equal to Vs minus Vf. So we have Vi is equal to Vs minus Vf. So this current is equal to I out. We can see that I out is equal to AM into Vi. So AM Vi is given by Vs minus Vf. So I out is equal to AM into Vs minus Vf. Vf is equal to beta into I out. Vf is equal to beta into I out. So if this value is placed in this expression, we get I out is equal to AM into Vs minus beta into I out. So if I combine terms related to I out on one side, I out into 1 plus beta into AM is equal to AM into Vs. So from this we can see that I out divided by Vs is equal to AM upon 1 plus beta AM. So this quantity we call it as AM closed. So we know that this can be written as AM closed is equal to AM is nothing but AM open divided by 1 plus beta into AM open. So open loop gain is divided by 1 plus loop gain. So gain is again reduced like voltage amplifier. You should understand that the unit of AM is that of a conductance, unit of beta is that of the resistance, and unit of the loop gain is beta into AM open is a unitless quantity. So this is about the closed loop gain. The second parameter that we have to find out is the closed loop input impedance. Closed loop input impedance, which we show it by R in closed. Now without feedback, you can see that from this diagram, R in open is equal to Ri, while R out open is equal to Ro. Output impedance is Ro, input impedance is Ri. These are open loop quantities. We know that to find out the closed loop input impedance, I should apply, in place of Vs, I should apply Vx, and I should find out what is the current Ix drawn from it. So either Vx or Vs, that doesn't matter. So I will use the same quantity here, that is Vs, and I will find out this current II. So we can write it as Vi is equal to, from this diagram, so we have Vi is equal to Vs minus Vf, Vs minus Vf. Vf is equal to beta into I out. Vf is equal to beta into I out, and I out is equal to, we know that, so from this figure you can see that I out is equal to AM into Vi. I out equal to AM into Vi. AM into Vi. So we can write Vi is equal to Vs minus Vf is beta AM into Vi. So Vi into 1 plus beta into AM is equal to Vs. But we can see that Vi is equal to II into Ri. So Vi is equal to II into Ri. So if I put it here, we get II into Ri into 1 plus beta into AM is equal to Vs. But the total input impedance of this structure will be Vs divided by II. So Vs divided by II will be equal to 1 plus beta AM times Ri. So this is R in closed. So we can write R in closed equal to, Ri is R in open multiplied by 1 plus beta, AM is AM open. So because of the feedback, the input impedance has increased by a factor 1 plus loop gain. Now this is obvious. The reason is we are placing the feedback voltage in series with Vs. So the effective voltage across amplifier is reduced by Vf. So if anything is placed in series with the voltage source, we know that the effective input impedance is going to increase. If anything is placed in parallel, the effective resistance will decrease. So you can see that on the input side, the feedback network is placed in series. So input impedance has increased by a factor of 1 plus loop gain. For ideal value of, suppose if the input quantity is a voltage, the ideal value of input impedance should be infinite. If it is not infinite and if I use a proper feedback, the input impedance increases by a factor 1 plus loop gain. So feedback always improves the input impedance. So in case of a situation where input quantity is a voltage, feedback will improve the or increase the input impedance by 1 plus loop gain. Now similarly we will find out the expression for closed loop output impedance. Closed loop output impedance, which we show it by R out closed. We have already found out the expression for R out open. R out open is given by RO. So we know that to find out the output impedance, what we do, we make the input signal 0. So this is replaced by a short circuit. This will be replaced by a short circuit. So this will be replaced by a short circuit, and we apply the known voltage source here, Vx. This is plus minus Vx, and try to find out what is the current Ix drawn from it. So Vx by Ix will be R out closed. Now in this case you can see that Vi will be equal to minus Vf. Vi is equal to minus Vf. So I will write it here. Vi is equal to minus Vf. But the output current I out is equal to Ix. So Ix will be equal to Am into Vi. Ix will be equal to Am into Vi. Right? Because the output current Ix will be current flowing through RO plus Am into Vi. So Ix can be written as Am into Vi plus, because you can see that this Ix current will flow. Now there is no short circuit across RO. So this current plus this current should be equal to Ix. So Am into Vi plus the current flowing through RO is equal to Ix. Now the voltage across RO is Vx. So the current flowing through RO will be Vx upon RO. So Vx upon RO. So but Vi is equal to minus Vf, we have written. So it is equal to Am into minus Vf plus Vx by RO. But we can see that Vf is equal to, in this case, Vf is equal to, so this current is Ix. So Vf is equal to beta into Ix. Vf is equal to beta into Ix. So if I substitute it here, it is minus Am beta into Ix plus Vx by RO is equal to Ix. So it is Ix 1 plus beta into Am is equal to Vx by RO. So from this we can see that Vx by Ix will be equal to RO into 1 plus beta into Am. So this is nothing but R out closed, right? So I can write this as R out closed equal to RO is nothing but R out open into 1 plus beta AM is AM open. Beta into AM open is a loop gain. So the output impedance is also multiplied by 1 plus loop gain in case of transconductance amplifier with feedback, and it is obvious. If the output quantity is a current, ideal value of output impedance is infinite. If it is not infinite and if you use proper feedback, the output impedance will be increased by 1 plus loop gain. So I told you earlier also that the feedback network will try to make both input and output impedance more ideal. So in this case, ideal value of output impedance required is infinite. If it is not infinite, in this case it is RO. So it is multiplied by 1 plus loop gain so that it becomes more towards the ideal value, that is infinite. So that is the expression for closed loop output impedance. You should understand again why output impedance has increased, because the feedback network is placed in series with it. In case of voltage amplifier, if you remember, the feedback network was placed in parallel with the output side of the feed forward amplifier. That's why the output impedance has decreased in that case. So in voltage amplifier with feedback, the output impedance was R out open divided by 1 plus loop gain. So that is the difference. Now we will see one example based on it. So we will consider one example. We have, say, amplifier, common source amplifier. Input quantity is a voltage V in. So this is the PMOS. Now the output quantity in this case is I out. Now this current has to be converted into voltage and should be subtracted. So suppose this is equal to RD2. This is M1. This is RD1. This is M2. This is the PMOS, remember. And this should be subtracted from the voltage. So this is the feedback network. So this is RF. You should understand that the feedback network in this case consists of RD2 and RF. Why voltage is being subtracted? Because input quantity voltage is connected to the gate of M1, while the feedback voltage is connected to the source of M1. So we know that when voltages are applied to two different terminals of a MOSFET, especially gate and source, they are subtracted. Output quantity here in this case is a current VDD. Now we will analyze this assuming that the feedback network is ideal. Feedback network is ideal in the sense that the effective resistance of RF and RD2 is 0. So in this case, we are going to assume that the feedback current will flow, or the feedback quantity will flow from output side of the feedback network to the input side of the feedback network towards the output side of the feedback network. We are neglecting the reverse current flow. So that is not possible, but we can assume that quantity to be very less. So we are not assuming that. So in this case, we know that in this case, when ideal network is there, we solve the problem by finding out open loop gain and the loop gain. For practical circuits, we use a different methodology. There we found out open loop gain with loading effect and beta. Okay, so in this case, for ideal case, we have to find out open loop gain without loading effect and the loop gain. Now in order to make the feedback signal is a voltage that is reaching here. So this is Vf. So we have to find out open loop gain without feedback. So what I will do is I will connect this terminal to ground so that the feedback signal becomes 0. So the gain that I will be getting, because we are neglecting RO for M1 as well as M2. So in case of MOSFET M2, the current will be decided by VGS. So this is a VGS for MOSFET M2. So it doesn't depend on RF and RD2. So in this case, we can find out what is the open loop gain. So this point I will consider it as X. Vx will be equal to minus GM1 into RD1 into Vin. Remember, we have to find out the relationship between Iout and Vin. So Vx is equal to GM1 RD1 into Vin. Right? So this is the gate voltage for M2. So the current that flows through the MOSFET is always equal to GM2 into VSG2. Right? So Iout is equal to VSG. So this is connected to ground. So we will see that 0 minus Vx into GM2 is current Iout. So it is equal to GM1 RD1 into Vin, because minus becomes plus, into GM2. So we can see that Iout divided by Vin is equal to GM1 GM2 into RD1. So this is nothing but AM open. GM1 is a transconductance, GM2 is a transconductance, RD1 is a resistance. So the unit of this will be, so AM open is GM1 GM2 into RD1. The unit is ampere per volt, or I said mho or Siemens. You can write any unit for it. Right? So this is open loop gain. Now the next thing that has to be calculated is the loop gain. You should find out a location, because in finding out, so I will just consider the same circuit. This is removed. To find out a loop gain, we know that Vin is connected to ground. So this is short circuited. We have to break the loop. Now I can break a loop here, I can break a loop here, but a position where if I break and the next impedance becomes infinite, it is always a good location to break the loop. So I will be breaking it here. So this voltage Vt will be connected, and we have to find out what is Vr, and minus Vr by Vt will be the loop gain. Now from this we can see that we can write the expression for Iout in this case. So second part that we are doing it. So first we calculated what is called as the open loop gain. We have to find out what is closed loop gain now. So first for that purpose we have to find out what is loop gain. What is the first step in loop gain? We should make input signal 0. So Vin has been connected to ground. Break the loop at convenient location. So I have selected the gate of M2. Test signal should be applied at one breakpoint, and we should find out what is the receiving voltage at the other end of the breakpoint. So from this we can see that Iout is equal to 0 minus Vt into GM2. So which is equal to minus GM2 into VT. Now I want the current that flows in this direction. So this is current I out. So current flowing in the direction of RF can be, current division can be applied. So I will call this as IS, this current as IS1. IS1 will be equal to I out into RD2 divided by RD2 plus RF plus 1 by GM1. It is very clear, because impedance in the direction of IS1 is RO is neglected, so it is RF plus 1 by GM1. Now the same current will flow through RD1. So we can write VR is equal to IS1 into RD1. IS1 is given by I out RD2 upon RD2 plus RF plus 1 by GM1. But I out is minus GM2 into VT. So it is minus GM2 into VT into RD2 upon RD2 plus RF plus 1 by GM1. So RD1 actually I have not replaced here. This is RD1. So this is also RD1. So from this we can see that beta into AM open, that is a loop gain, is equal to minus VR by VT by definition. Minus VR by VT will be equal to GM2 RD1 RD2 divided by RD2 plus RF plus 1 by GM1, which can be written in a convenient format like GM1 GM2 RD1 RD2 divided by 1 plus RD2 plus RF multiplied by GM1. So this is the loop gain. So now I can write AM closed is AM open divided by 1 plus beta into AM open. AM open has already been calculated. AM open is given by GM1 GM2 into RD1, GM1 into GM2 into RD1. So it is equal to GM1 into GM2 into RD1 divided by 1 plus loop gain is GM1 GM2 RD1 RD2 divided by 1 plus RD2 plus RF multiplied by GM1. So in summary, if we have to deal with the problem with feed forward amplifier as transconductance amplifier, in ideal case we should find out open loop gain without loading effect and the loop gain, and we should write down the expression for the closed loop gain. In this case, as the output quantity is a current, we are not much interested in the output impedance. If the output impedance is to be calculated, in that case now for I out the output impedance will be equal to RD2 parallel RF plus 1 by GM1, and that will be multiplied by 1 plus loop gain because of a feedback. Input impedance is anyway equal to infinite. So we can handle the problem in ideal case. Remember that the method used with loading effect is totally different. There we calculate open loop gain with loading effect and feedback factor. Here we calculate open loop gain without loading effect and the loop gain. So we will see the practical case in the next session. You can see this analysis for the feedback transconductance amplifier in ideal case, and the example that I explained has been solved here. So we will see in the next session, the practical case where the loading effect of feedback amplifier or the feedback network has to be taken into account. Thank you.